to this. All right. Okay, thank you for joining me on a Sunday afternoon. My name is Alida, and I was born in Peru, and I got a lawyer degree very early in life. So when I was 21, I was already a lawyer. When I was 24, I already got my master's degree. But my name in Spanish is Alida Moncada, A.M. Coincidentally, my father's name is Aurelio Moncada, A.M. He's 6 months apart from my birthday, so we are 6 months apart. And when you are 6 months apart with someone, it's called the master relationship. The master relationship is like, I'm going to teach you something, and you are going to teach me something too, but we are going to have a really hard relationship in life. And usually it's very connected to the career, who you are. I was a lawyer, he was a lawyer, everything made sense. So I want to talk to you about family constellations, and to talk about family constellations and how you can unlock and unblock some things in your own life. For example, I love to eat liver, and I love to eat chicken feet, and I eat intestines because I grew up in that way. So I'm okay. The first day that my husband was invited, he's an American, to my house, my mom offered, do you want to have chicken soup? My husband said, yes. And when he's about to drink his chicken soup, he's like, Alida, are these feet? And I said, like, yeah, I didn't see anything wrong. That was his perspective of how a chicken soup will look, right? For me, it could be hard. I'm okay. So for me, my mother felt disrespected, right? She's like, he doesn't like our soup. Like, so that's what family constellation is going to allow you to see. Whatever you've been seeing, what is right and wrong, probably maybe it wasn't wrong. Or maybe what you were thinking, that strategy wasn't right. And you know why family constellation allows you to do that? Is because there is something that is called the knowing field. And the knowing field is the universe. It's a bigger consciousness than your individual consciousness that knows everything that happened to you and your family and every single mission that you have had as a soul. So when you do a family constellations or this type of sessions in a group circle or in an individual circle, you open the field and it will reveal something or a couple things that with these eyes you haven't been able to see or to pay attention, to put together those dots. So that's the knowing field. And the knowing field comes from a phrase that Rupert Sheldrake has used that is called the morphogenetic field. He made this awesome book that is My Dog Knows When I'm Coming Back Home. And if you ever had a pet, I remember my dog, my Peruvian dog, Vivi, we moved with her when she was 7, 8 years old. She only spoke Spanish. Well, not spoke, but understood Spanish. And I remember we moved to a new house. We're in Massachusetts. And she knew exactly when I was leaving my job in Marlboro to drive to Millbury. That's like 1 hour, 50 minutes. And so that's the morphogenetic field. I share something with you, but you cannot see it, right? I'm sorry, I'm gonna turn off this thing. It's my WhatsApp from Peru that I don't know how it's connected to my, okay. So that's the knowing field, and that's what it allows you to do. Now, when you work with family constellations, so you work with this greater consciousness, spiritual consciousness, of my family, my individual consciousness, right, of my own experiences in the spiritual level and also in the physical level. Because let me tell you something. Today I saw these two sisters. Remember, well, Michael, I don't know if you were here, but this morning I had 2 sessions. One is 17 and the other girl, she's only 9. And this only 9 years old, since she's little, besides the imbalance in the pH that I did magnet therapy, but I know the mom. And she's been having a lot of, on her root area, she's been having a lot of pH imbalances that usually little girls, they won't have it, right? But in this family system, there has been a lot of sexual abuse, right? So the symptom that I create is because I need to repair something. It's not because I want to create more damage. That's when someone comes, and I have had symptoms as well. When I was little, I had a lot of respiratory issues. So to the symptom, I need to see the symptom symbolically and say, I can see you now, right? What you are showing me. In a setting of a session, you can put together who this is connected to, this symptom, or um, to what traumatic experience, or a person or a traumatic experience, and they do movements, symbolic movements to let it go, right? So there are three basic things so we can live all happily ever after. I haven't seen any family system in all these years that no one has any imbalance. The first one is the right to belong, because like the beautiful plants that Michael has, that I always like to see them, every single leaf belongs. So he cannot say, oh, no, 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 no. The one on the right one is too pointy, so you don't belong. No. Even if he says that, that leaf had its own existence. When he denies it, then we create symptoms. And usually symptoms will be created from 2 generations up above you. So if we are the first generation, we have to go to grandparents, great-grandparents, right? And we can go above. And the right to belong, why is so important? When I deny my parents, I'm going to start getting a little bit more heavy, okay? I have denied I don't remember, in 2012, my dad always told me this when I was 8, 9. You are going to be the last one. I'm not going to have more children. And I believe it, right? But I always want to be the perfect daughter, always. Like I had that thing that I needed to be, but it was too much, right? Like perfect student, sports, like, because I wanted to be important for my daughter, for my father, right? But guess what? In 2012, my dad, I went on Facebook to my older sister's Facebook. And I saw my dad, my sister, his current girlfriend at the time, with a baby. And they are like, we are celebrating the baptism of who is my youngest sister now, right? I was 28 years old or something like that. So my dad never told me about it. So he could talk to me, but he wasn't capable to tell me that. But he was able to talk to my other siblings. And I acted like if I was 5. I sent an email. I said, I'm never going to talk to you anymore. You lied to me. I was denying the existence of my sister, correct? Because for me, it was not morally correct. The girlfriend was too young. A lot of judgment, right? So when you deny the existence, even if you say like, look, it's not okay for a person to date someone that is 30 years younger than you, right? It's not okay for you. But who cares? Who am I to judge someone if I don't know his own feelings? Like you won't know. Like even if we are talking right now and you tell me your deepest secrets and you tell me the worst wounds that you have ever felt when you were little or not, I will never understand exactly the way that you felt because I wasn't on your feet. So who am I to judge my father, my sister, the wife, and everyone else? Why? Right? So the right to belong applies even when they were things in your family system that weren't morally correct. It doesn't mean that those things that were not morally correct were okay. It means that the person existed and the person did something that it was not okay, but that existence was there. So all the miscarriages, all the me, I'm not gonna talk to my dad anymore, ever again. All the things are denying the existence of someone and will create a symptom. And guess what? In that year, like 3 months later, like I always ran, play volleyball, always did some type of workout. That year, I was doing CrossFit, and all of a sudden, my knees lock. I went to a doctor, and he said, like, you won't be able to do any sports anymore. And I was like, what? Because my knees and my legs will represent my father all the time. Because your father is action, your father is movement, your father makes you organize your money, your investments, take trips, solo trips, get into the roller coaster. That's the energy of your father. And then when I was doing family constellations and I was denying the existence of my father, and I was saying like he was never there for me, I realized how much I have studied. How he paid for all of my things, but besides that imagine that he didn't pay. I had the energy to finish all those 8 years or 10 years of studies because of his energy, because he was available for me. That energy that I thought it wasn't available, it was available for me. That's where I completed my studies. So that's the first thing, the right to belong. The second, oh no, I'm gonna give you this example and you will let me know. So there is a woman and she has had a lot of issues on her relationship with her daughter, her whole life. And the story is this woman got pregnant when she was 15 years old. So she got pregnant of this daughter when she was 15 years old. And because she was so young, the grandmother raised this daughter for her. But the mother was present, the original mother. So years later, the mother settled up, she has a job, and she wants to try to connect with the daughter in a different way. Like, now you're gonna live with me. The daughter she doesn't even want to talk to the mother. She blamed her, you left me, I was all alone. So the mother doesn't understand how she can bond with the daughter. So we are doing a family constellation, a setting. We open the field, and I said to the woman, give me a peg doll. I usually use dolls or cards to represent your daughter. The daughter is facing backwards, angry, doesn't want to see anyone. When the mother comes into this representation, you know what the daughter does? The daughter starts crying, but this cry that, have you ever had this type of cry that you cry, and you cannot even stop? That type of cry. So the daughter was releasing all the pain, because anger is after pain, after fear and after pain, right? She was releasing all of that pain in that moment, the pain of years. After that, the daughter said this, I feel peaceful now. So the switch was that she was holding into so much anger that the family constellation revealed that now she was able, from another position, from a peaceful position, to see her mother. Because before she couldn't, she didn't have those resources. Now, I'm going to ask you something. What was that daughter doing? Was she breaking the first rule of family constellations? She was breaking it, right? Because she was denying her own existence. When you deny your mother, you deny your own life. And you are not going to have strength for anything. And it's going to be very hard to be successful without the mother's energy. So that's a case of how a daughter denying the mother was creating a blockage in her own existence, but also an imbalance in the whole family tree. Imagine if that daughter had a daughter or had a child, and they never fixed that. It will be passed along generations after generations. The second rule in family constellations is the hierarchy, is the status. And when we see ourselves unconsciously, I am doing the things better than you, mom, I'm doing the things better than you, dad, I am a better person than you, we put in a position that I'm not a child anymore. I'm not a child of my parents anymore. I try to go above them because I know better. And in that way, if I move out of the position, that is a natural position that I need to have because I'm only a child, life is going to be hard. Somehow, it's not going to be complete because then I cannot receive the strength from my father and from my mother. And for example, and this is, I just saw someone, I don't know who, but 3 days ago, this week, this woman, she doesn't have kids. She doesn't have a partner. She's on her 50s. She said that she has never had a partner, okay? Someone meaningful. Look, she's 50 years old. And when we are doing the dynamics, I said like, she has like 2 careers, like she studied a lot. So when I said like, you just tell me how you feel. And I said like, do you feel proud of your mom? And she thinks, and she says, no, actually, no. She says like, I have always felt that she should have studied something because the mother couldn't, she didn't, or she didn't want to study anything. And she was saying, but I did. I have 2 careers, but my mother didn't. So when we were going to a social gathering, I felt embarrassed that she wasn't, like good enough. And that's one is the main reasons that this person cannot have a partner and cannot have children, because she's denying the hierarchy of her mother. My mother could have been, at least I'm from Peru, right? Most people like, well, now it's different, but before they didn't have studies, they couldn't study, very poor country. And because of that, am I going to say that I'm better than my grandfather because he didn't study? I will replace him. I will take his position and live that life for me, but that's not my life. So the movement of this daughter for me in this session was for her to kneel in front of her mother, to bow in front of her mother. So then her soul becomes smaller than the mother, and now she can see as a child to her mother. And my mom, she was always very fearful. If you talk to my mom now, even she's very playful, but she's always scared of things that you like, how do you call it, electrical stairs in the mall. When they opened the first mall in 1992, she was afraid. She was scared. She was scared of crossing the street by herself. Those little things. And I get mad. I was mad at her because I was like, I don't understand why you are like that. Well, then last year I understood why. It's because my mother was taken away from her parents because there was an epidemic in Peru when she was 2 years old. For 3 years, she couldn't see her parents. That was part of the protocol, right? So she stayed little. She stayed in the demand of a 2-year-old. It was so traumatic for her that she couldn't move away of that experience, and her whole life was lived from that fear and that abandonment, right? Do you have any questions so far or no? You want to share something? No? So the third one will be the balance. And we need balance, and this is very specific for relationships, more than between children and parents. But you need a perfect balance in a relationship. If in my relationship, I come with 50% and my partner comes with 20, that is not going to work. And I'm telling you in energy, not in money, not in careers, is in energy. This is only energy. If I'm willing of this 50 only to give to him 10, worst. If he can give me 20 and I don't want to receive those 20 because they are not good enough and I only receive 5, worse, failure. Has to be the perfect balance between giving and receiving. And let me tell you, this is not monetarily. Like my husband is an American and he has another way to see life. He likes to give a lot of presents for Christmas. And when I was little, I didn't receive presents for Christmas, or maybe one, right? So for me, for my soul, that's enough. But when he gives me 30 presents, I really don't like it, right? But guess what? He will give me presents, but he doesn't like to receive presents. Do you see the imbalance? And that's with something that is tangible, right? I can see it. But that's also the energy that he invested in look up for things that I would like. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not willing. Oh, maybe you will think that I'm anti-romantic, but I'm not gonna have the time to start purchasing stuff. Like one thing, it's enough for me. So we have came to this point that it's only one after 15 years of marriage, right? But that's also with cooking the meals, with picking up the kids. Everything needs to be a perfect balance. When I feel that I'm giving too much or I'm giving too little, that relationship is not going to work. And you know what? How is this happen? This happens too with your career, because in your career you have to have the perfect. So you have to feel that the money that you are receiving compensates your effort. And for example, imagine like all of us, we want to be, if you want to, I think that we want to be billionaires. Okay. Right now, we want to have $2 billion, but we don't have them yet. Right. So what am I going to do now? Am I going to be unhappy? I could come to an agreement with that energy and say like, for now, I have this, but in the future, you can give me more and I can give you more. Right. To create a perfect balance of giving and receiving. There is something that is, so these are the 3 orders. And Bert Hellinger was one of the main founders, like the main character in this movement of family constellations. And I want to read something because for me, love can heal anything. That frequency, that thought, anything. You see life different, right? And that's, and I'm gonna tell you this example. I have a bunny, a pet bunny. He's free, and I cannot be mad with the bunny. So every time that I see him, even when he ate my lucky bamboo the other day, I love him, right? It makes me smile. I feel this sensation of love. So I think that is the best pet ever I have ever had, because I cannot shift that energy, and that's good for me. But there is something in these rules in the family system. Per Hellinger said, these orders order precedes love. So he was saying, and love can only be developed on the basis of order. Order is primary. So I can love you so much, but you know what? I'm not proud of you. Let's see, with my husband. I love you very much, but I don't feel proud of who you are. There's no order. Because if I don't feel proud of my partner, that's going to be a failure. He's going to be in front of me and I'm going to act as his mother, right? Because I'm better. And the person who is better is bigger, right? So that's why it's so important to think about these orders of love. These 3 orders are called the orders of love. That's the name that it has. What are the things that you can constellate? You can constellate physical symptoms, mental issues, relationships, blockages with money, career, relationships with your friends. And you can do specific constellations. For example, I just saw someone, I don't know, this week too. they are together, but this couple, they cheat. She cheats, he cheats, he cheats. It's a lot of cheating. I've never seen that quantity. Like, it's a lot. Well, when we did what we did, we found out that it was connected to the great grandparents, right? So I'm just only being an echo of something that happened way back there that I'm connecting to them. And it's basically your soul enters this realm to do something. You want to advance as a soul. You don't want to be static, right? So every single thing is going to lead you to move forward. And there's no route, right? You just see like, my intuition says this way, the other day says the other way. But I want to only to carry a strength. I don't want to carry burdens. But sometimes I carry burdens unconsciously, because there is a statement that he said, I will do it for you because I can do it better. That's what he was saying to the great grandparents. You mess it up. This was horrible. You beat up this great grandmother. I'll do it for you better. And it was too much, right? Because he was destroying his present life, not available for his children, destroying his marriage, the career, totally blocked. So all of those things were because of one root cause. So now I want you to, let's try to do a dynamic. First, we're going to use the 4 papers that you have, and you are going to have 1 pillow or 1 stuffed animal. But before we start doing this dynamic, I want you to think about what will it be the main blockage in your life now? What will be something that you feel that is being created stagnation? Could be a person, could be an event, could be something that you want but you haven't get it now, right? But I want you to think about the blockage. The blockage. A blockage means that I feel frozen in this and I don't know what to do, how to move out of this situation. So you have 4 pieces of paper. You have 4 pieces of paper. So because you have 4 pieces of paper, we are going to write in one paper number 1. In the other paper, you are going to write number 2. The papers, you don't want them to be that big, so you have a space and I can see you, okay? So one paper is going to be number 1. You can fold them in 4 pieces as well. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So each paper is going to have only 1 number, right? Do you have any questions? Okay, but you will need to stand up. We're going to stand up, and what we are going to do is you have a line. You have, oh my goodness, yeah. You have a line of 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want you to put them like this on the floor. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You are going to stand up, and you are not going to stand on any number yet. You're going to stand on a number when I let you know, okay? Oh, I don't see anyone. Where did you? Okay, I want you to stand up. You have that line. Grab your pillow, and stand next to any side of the number 1. Don't stand on any number yet. You stand next to your number 1 with your pillow. The way that you are gonna grab your pillow is this way. I want you to grab the pillow this way. So the pillow is gonna be here, and my arms are gonna be like this. Yes, Leah, that way. Michael, I don't see your pillow. No, Lynn, can you hold it like this? No, put it on top of your arms, like this. There. Okay. Inhale. You just move your head and let me know if you are all ready. Ready, Lynn? Ready, Michael? Okay, so now I want you to inhale and exhale. And I want you to make yourself very aware of the pillow that you are carrying, the weight of the pillow in your arms. And because you are carrying that pillow, probably you can feel sensations also on your biceps, on your shoulders, on your neck, on your upper back. So I want you to be aware of the way that you are feeling now. Now, when you are ready, you are going to stand on top of number 1. Stand on top of number 1. When you stand on top of number 1, I want you to feel the weight on your arms. If it feels heavier or if it feels more light. Feel the weight. Feel your shoulders and feel your neck. If this position, this number 1, is creating more tension or more relaxation in your body. If your feet and your legs feel wobbly or if they feel strong. So pay attention a lot to the weight that you are feeling. I want you to move to the number 2. Move to the number 2 with your pillow. Stand on the number 2 and we're going to do the same. Pay attention to the weight that you are feeling in your arms, your shoulders, and your neck. This number 2 is making you more stable or less stable. This number 2 is making you feel more weight or less weight of this pillow. I want you to move to the number 3. Move to the number 3. While you are in the number 3, pay attention to the stability of your body. Is my body tense, stable, relaxed, rooted? Feel the weight in your arms. Does it feel heavier or more light than before? How do I feel my throat? How do I feel my chest? Take one step to the last one, that is the number 4. It's okay, Lynn. Just leave them there. On the number 4, pay attention again to the weight. To the weight. Is it getting heavier or is easy to carry? Is it bothering my upper shoulders and my neck? Do I feel stable? Do you want to sit down? How does it feel? Now move away to the first position where you are not touching, you are not standing on any number. Move away and you are not standing on any number. Look at your numbers from 1 to 2. And now that you know which number felt heavier, you are going to put that pillow that you have in the number that you felt heavier, and you are going to say it with me. So, Lynn, do you know which one felt heavier? Michael, do you know which number felt heavier? Leah, do you know? You are going to kneel and you are going to put the weight and you are going to leave it in that number. So we're going to do it together. Start leaning and said, I'll give this back to you, put it on top of the number. I'll give this back to you, put it on top of the number with love and gratitude. I'll give this back to you with love and gratitude. Stand up normally, come back, leave that pillow there. And I want you to feel your shoulders, feel your hands, feel your arms, and you can even wiggle them. And now you can say, I feel weightless. It did not belong to me. It did not belong to me. Question, and you can raise up your arms or you just can ascend. Lean. Do you feel heavy? Your body feels heavy now or light? Or do you feel okay? Michael, is it okay or does it feel heavy? Where does it feel heavy? In your shoulders, here, your arms. So Michael, you can do this. Like if you are carrying the weight again, and tuck your chin. And take deep, long breaths. Leah, how is your body feeling? Good? And tuck your chin. Tuck your chin, Michael, please. Tuck your chin, Leah. And I want you to say, I accept everything the way it was. Put your hands down. Put your head back. Reassess your shoulders. How are your shoulders feeling now, Michael? Good?
Lighter.
Okay. Leah, lighter. So now we are going to sit down. Lynn, which number was the heavier for you?
Number 1.
Michael, which number?
Number 2.
And Leah?
Number 1.
So I'm going to tell you the numbers. The number 1 was you, yourself, your inner child wound, the inner child, okay? The number 2 were my parents. The number 3, my grandparents. And the number 4, my great-grandparents. Question for Lynn and Leah. You felt the heaviest on the number 1. Which other number felt heavy, a little bit more, less heavy, but still heavy for you, Lynn?
Can you repeat that? You got cut off.
Well, yes. So for you, the heaviest was the number 1.
Yes.
Was there any other number that you felt that it was a little bit heavy or only number 1?
2 was a little bit heavy.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, Leah?
2 and 4 were a little bit heavy.
Uh-huh. And for you, Michael, only the number 2? So what is telling you this story for Lynn and for Leah is that it's very important. So you have different, when trauma happens, trauma is not only physical, right? It's also mentally and spiritual. When a traumatic experience happens, everything gets frozen and the parts of my soul break. Like it's like an explosion. But eventually, all these pieces should come back together and I continue with my life. But sometimes when something happened for me that it was very traumatic when I was little, even if I don't remember, because you cannot remember what you ate on July 4th or on July 6th, but you still had that meal, right? Something broke, that it could be an interrupted movement with the mother, that it could be an abandonment wound, a neglection, that are the most important things that you need to give back or to those to that traumatic experience or to that person. But that in this case is yourself. But it could be included in this client experience, the conception and the pregnancy of the mother, right? And for you, Michael, is your parents. Um, your parents. But you know what? I have to tell you something. I think that for you, well, because we know a little bit each other, that movement, for example, will be very important for you to do, to grab a picture of your two parents and do the child pose for 21 days for 1 minute, 2 minutes in front of them with not talking. Because that movement will allow your soul to release that weight from them because they are going to be capable to figure it out. Somehow they are going to be able because they are older, right? But it's going to release you because you are going to make yourself very little to try to do it for them unconsciously. And Lynn and Leah, I don't know very much about your story, a little bit about Lynn. I don't know how was that dynamic and the family system, how you were born, and all those details, right? But what is important is when you do that movement and then you create resistance. Because Michael and Leah, they say like, look, my shoulder still feels heavy, right? So I have created this pattern that I need to drink coffee every single morning. And I don't even understand why I need to drink coffee, right? Because there's nothing, right, that is tying me up. I don't have a business. The coffee is not my business partner or anything, but I need to. That same happens with your soul. It's so adjusted to that movement, to that situation, that cannot let go of that. And for me, let me tell you something. In this box that I made for my eclipse, for my eclipse, for the eclipse, I've been so control freak. Like, I'm telling you, like, not now, but up until before I got pregnant, I was like, literally, I used to work in the Peruvian mining department. So I was doing crazy auctions for gold mining. So I will say like, I'm going to the gym from 5:45 to 6:47, like with minutes. Huh? I'm gonna work out from 6:47 to 6:53. I will take a shower like that crazy Alida. And now for me the biggest lesson is to don't plan anything, to don't and for all of us, expectations always will create suffering. And to don't expect anything. And and even with this house, I think that I told Michael the story of the house. I don't know, I don't remember, but I don't you know what? I don't care anything. It's not that I'm a bad mother or a bad person. It's just like it's gonna happen what is gonna happen. And what am I gonna do? That's the lesson for me, right? And there must be a big lesson for you, especially if you've been challenged for the last 2 weeks. That is more challenged than other times, I guess. That's what I was trying to say. Something that you need to let go, and probably you are very conscious of that, but it's very hard for you to do it or to find the path how I do move from A to B, right? I'm gonna share with you another example because I like this one. So this woman, her name is Anna, and Anna is 42 years old. She's very successful with her job. She has a husband, they get along, and she has 2 children. But Anna, all of a sudden, she has started having panic attacks. Panic attacks, panic attacks. And she doesn't understand, and she gets very depressed. And she's like, how is it possible that I'm getting sad because I have a good life, right? In a constellation, basically similar to this movement dynamic that we just did, like with different generations, she got stuck in the great grandparents. But she has a vision because the knowing field sometimes allows you to do movements or to say things that you say like, what am I saying or what am I thinking about that? The great-grand aunt, her great-grand aunt, the sister of her great-grandmother, was very depressed and she committed suicide. She jumped off a balcony from the fourth floor. But guess in which floor Anna was living? She was living on the fourth floor as well. So, and I want to get to this point. First, that when you see very far my great-grandparents, because I don't know well, I know their story because I I had the chance to talk to my father and my mother a lot because I wanted to know more. But even if you don't know their story, the story was there and could be linked to something that you are doing. But the second thing is that where you live, the work that you have, the friends that you have, everything is linked to something greater that we don't see, right? The name of your business, where you work, everything is linked to something. And you don't need to figure out everything, right? But to create sometimes of awareness about that, because if I feel challenged with my boss, that boss is teaching me something, right? Or if I feel that I'm not getting paid enough, or if I have to commute such a long time, why am I doing this, right? So in this case of Anna, she was entangled by loyalty to the fate of this great aunt, right? Because even in your physical body, you always want to bring balance. You always want to have balance. Everyone needs balance. And your system needs balance too. And it's going to try to play with different people. Different people are going to be the players, the new players in the future to play that game that wasn't complete or that no one figured out how to play it. And this is very, when I see people with chronic diseases, pain, early cancers, like this girl that I told you today, right? I mean, she's like, it's, at least for me, it's very obvious, like she's creating a loyalty with something or with someone, right? And so all the things allows you to, you can see with family constellations. And do you have anything to share with me today? Do you have questions, any questions, anything? Lynn, Michael, Leah, Lynn?
Alita, I had a question because I ironically, the last 2 days I had a dream and it reminded me of an inner child thing, and I had an interaction with my son, and I was like, why was I upset about that? And it's definitely an inner child wound. So how do I just try to get in touch with that part? Do I try to do things to nurture, or when that part comes up, like, how can I do it differently, I guess, to take care of that inner child? That, my blockage was not supported or loved, like any of that, and it has to do with my mom. So
But there is something that is interesting and that we need to be aware of. And there is a study, but I don't know in which book, but I saw that study. For example, my mom had me through cesarean. My mom, okay? My mom never nursed me, okay? And my mom, I couldn't see her for 2 months because in Peru, they left a cotton ball inside her uterus. So she got, how do you say this, infection. But me, Alida, this baby that you're, well, ex-baby that you see here, for me was very traumatic. So, and I can see in my motherhood, the way that I nourish, the way that I see my mom, everything, like the way that I had my birth, I wanted a, specifically to do it different than you, mom, because you did it all wrong, right? But there could be another person that went through the same situation and that person is not affected. Me and my daughter, we get nothing from poison ivy. I have wrapped poison ivy because I don't have it on my field. But look at my husband, right? So what I'm trying to say is that you have those situations, but it doesn't mean that everything is going to be affecting you actively. That's the first thing. Second thing, inner child for me, I do this dynamic, and I think that is on my YouTube channel. It's in a blue thumbnail. It's an inner child, because sometimes you do dynamics like the one that we did with generations, but with different ages. Like sometimes I put conception, pregnancy, I put 0 to 6 months, something like that, and feel how my body feels or how it responds. And when you work with inner child, I always see the way that I breathe usually, because when you are little is when you need to breathe, when you need to. That's the moment when I take life. When I choose, this is my mother, however it was cesarean, no cesarean, however it was, I take that with me. The other one is a past life. Depends, right? Like I do past life. I train in past life after my family constellations because I saw that it could be linked. But find that video and you can do those papers in those dynamics. And what you can do, because you don't want to be biased, you can make your papers and then you mix them so you are not biased with the numbers, right? So look what happened with my daughter. I don't know if I made a newsletter, but I think that I was trying to do a newsletter. And do you have a couple more minutes so I finish talking about this? So September 20th, my daughter. I am March 30th, right? So we are 6 months. It's almost, I'm replicating the same relationship that I had with my father, correct? But I'm a mother and my North Node is in Cancer. So I'm supposed to be very maternal and very nourishment with everyone. That's my mission. So she just started school last week, the first day of public school. It's the first year that she's going to public school. And she was very excited, like, Mommy, I'm going to say, hello, everyone. Like she was practicing. For the first day of school, but she has always been in something that it was alternative, right? Like a Montessori or something like that. The next day, she's freaking out. I have never seen him like this, like crying, but like, I don't want to go. It was beyond, how can I tell you? It was beyond something rational, right? And she was telling me, I don't understand. I don't understand why. She was telling me. So she will get to school. It was just the driving to getting her to school, and then she was fine. But all of my way that I have seen life up until then, I was like, I have never expected to go to public school or to go through this, right? Like I'm always trying to stress free and all of things. Well, on Thursday, because I cannot do a constellation on her because her soul, she received from me. The imbalance is in me and on my husband. So I was using my tarot cards, my major arcans. I have had, this is going to be recorded, but I think that it's okay. Before my daughter, I lost a child when I was 20. And when I did my training in past life regressions, I saw the baby. So this baby told me that this is the same baby boy, that it was with all of my maternal lineage, because no one could have a baby boy in my maternal lineage. No one has ever, like now with my generation, someone was able to have, but she was adopted. So she wasn't from the lineage and she was able to have two babies. So he was explaining, he gave me his name and everything. So when I put the card for my daughter's sensation, he gave me justice. When I take the card for this baby, it brings justice. Look at this one. But I don't remember. She was born in 2014. In 2016 or 17, my husband was in the Amazon and I was having a menstruation that it was weird. It was weird. So my husband kept feeling this area cold where he's touching. So there's no flow of energy yet. So I said, like, do you remember that baby? I brought the other baby and he's like, I feel so hot because she needed the 3 babies, right? We did a constellation, we unblocked everything, like the healing statements basically that we have done something similar. We did an energetic clearing. I wrapped the egg. We wrapped the egg in Peru. Guess what? I'm not telling you that it's magical, but it unblocked energy. I swear. She came back on Thursday, took her to her practice, didn't say, I don't want to go to school. Friday, I was like getting myself, like, like it was so challenging. She's like, can you just drive me with my dad? Got into the car. By today, right before now, I asked her, like, tomorrow you are going to go to school with me or your dad? And she's like, I don't care. Shift. The energy shifts, right? But in her case, I need to recognize that there was something about me and my husband. It wasn't about her. It cannot be a child a child that is under 14 cannot have the capacity to create a symptom without a connection with something or with someone else. So when you do your inner child, you have to also pay attention to that. Because if there was the lack of love that I felt, because that's your perception, even if you are 1 year old, right? It's your perception. Did someone else felt that way in my family system? Because you remember that I told you, I was lacking my father my whole life. But look, my sister, she never liked my father. She never said anything, for she was enough. Do you see how the same siblings can say something different? It's my perspective. Do you have any other questions? So I am doing a course for that is it's twice a month, with a gathering of like this that we did with a setting group. I have it all of my website. If you want to share it with someone, if you want to share what you experienced today with your friends, that would be very helpful. Go to my YouTube channel because you have more dynamics that you can try. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Today, you cannot talk about what you did for 24 hours with anyone. And pay attention for the next, it's usually the peak 48 hours of what you dream, what you remember, because now your field is different, even though you just did that simple movement of giving the weight. And if you want to share something with me, I would love to hear any feedback or any information or your dreams if something happened. And I will let you know if I see the lady, the 70-year-old. And yeah, you can subscribe to my website as well, to my newsletter. I usually put a case, something that happened. And thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Alida.
Thank you,
Thank you
Leah.
so much. This
Thank
was
you, Leah.
excellent.
Nice meeting you, Leah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you, Michael.
Likewise.
And the eclipse is happening now.
Oh yeah. Bye bye.
All right. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.